Welcome to Tone Talks. Welcome to Tone Talks. Welcome to Tone Talks.
Antonio Moore coming to you from Tone Talks. I wanted to have a discussion about this monumental signing by the California Governor Gavin Newsome on the Lebron James show that allows for athletes to be paid finally. Hopefully it leads to a storm across the country because these ADOS and other athletes that risk their bodies and lives on live TV deserve to get compensated. I'm going to let everybody fall in. While they're falling in, let's do some logistics. The ADOS conference is this week. Shout out to all those people coming because it's going to be wild. We're going to be in Louisville. This conference is about the American descendants of slavery, about a discussion about a black agenda, about reparations. We're going to have it out. We're going to have Dr. Cornel West there. We're going to have Marianne Williamson, who is a presidential candidate that brought about a discussion. She's been on my show about reparations to the presidential stage in a way that we have never seen before. We're going to have the discussion. And also, I just want to logistically tell you, we have it confirmed. We're going to have streaming. I put it on my Twitter. It'll be $9.99 for you to stream the whole day. It'll be available for 72 hours after the stream. So if you buy it and you can't see it during work, you can come home and watch the whole thing. It'll stream the whole day. It'll be, I believe, multiple shots. It'll be similar to what the people see in the overflow. So this is going to be a watershed moment. Please support. Also, this is just a support of the conference as well. As you know, we only charge $15. For those people that say, well, ADOS, it has to be, you have to pay for a venue, you have to pay for security, you have to pay for performers, you have to pay to fly people around, you have to pay for rooms. There's costs that are associated, and that's, again, we're just doing this as a labor of love, trying to make sure that everybody knows this. Also, let me tell everybody, we're going to have a few shirts, limited quantity, ADOS shirts available at the conference, 350 of them. On the shirt, it'll say hashtag ADOS, and it'll say politics is an exchange, not a gift. Those shirts will be available for $25 to $30 at the conference, so please try to bring cash if you have it. We'll also probably be taking cards. So let's get right into this discussion. So the NCAA, for basically a generation, have been gouging and stealing from black communities. Not just black communities, but primarily black communities. Because we play those sports that make that money. NFL, NBA, basketball, football. And what you've seen as a result is this idea that you don't get paid until you get to the NBA, but this is kind of the testing field. Now, the problem with football is that you burn yourself out oftentimes. You look at, I believe, the kid Lattimore that played for South Carolina, one of the best running backs that year, blew out his knee. There's no chance for him to recoup that what he lost as he goes into the rest of his life. He should have been paid at the NCAA level. Now, today, what we saw is a monumental thing. You know, very often I'm critical of black celebrity, rightfully so. But today is a day we celebrate LeBron James. LeBron James brought a platform to Gavin Newsome's signing of the new bill out of California that allows athletes to get paid. That is monumental. You know, essentially what he did is on his shop show, the governor of California signed this monumental law right there with these black men in a barbershop having a discussion about its impact. Now, we got to also give credit is due. For a long time, LeBron James has championed this, pushing against the NCAA and the infrastructures to essentially say that black folks, that other folks, that folks who play these games deserve to be paid and not hustled on the status of being amateur. And so I say today, this is a watershed decision, and I hope it takes the nation by storm. California is leading the way, and these young men deserve compensation if they're going to be out on this field. Now, let me read actually about this whole decision. I want you guys to hear this. This is a story off of CBS. California to let college athletes make money, defying the NCAA. California's governor signed the first in the nation law Monday that will let college athletes hire agents and make money from endorsements. The law, which the NCAA vigorously opposed, could upend amateur sports in the U.S. and trigger a legal challenge. Under the law, which takes effect in 2023, students at public and private universities in the state will be allowed to sign deals with sneaker companies, soft drink makers, or other advertisers and profit from their images, names, or likeness, just like pros. It's going to change college sports for the better by having now the interest finally of the athletes on par with the interest of the institution. Democratic Governor Gavin Newsome said in a tweet. So we look at this thing and we got to understand the impact of this. Let me say this. It's a free-for-all in college where athletes go. If I'm an athlete in Georgia or if I'm in Florida or if I'm in New York, the amount of pressure that this law will put into effect, because it doesn't go into effect till 2023, which creates, I believe, some space to get some traction if this is going to be the national discussion. The amount of pressure this puts on other states to pass the same laws is immense. Because what will happen is everybody going to USC or UCLA. You know why? Because they can pay you over there. So they better figure this out real quick, because at the end of the day, this destroys amateurism, and it's never been amateur. Just recently, I saw a commercial with Nick Saban with Aflac, and he got all the diamonds on, the diamond rings, and he got a blue jacket on because it's contrasted to his Alabama jacket, and he's selling a commercial. This is a guy who's supposed to be working as a college amateur coach. The problem with the whole amateur status is that it's never been amateur. This all kind of comes out of, shout out to Ed O'Bannon of UCLA. There was a lawsuit brought years ago against EA, which led to the end of the EA game, the NCAA game, because you had these players' likeness being used in video games while you still call them amateurs, and no money was actually going to the players or their families. Now, we've seen the scandals that come out when players supposedly almost take some money from Chris Webber with Michigan, to Cam Newton with Auburn, to what we saw with Reggie Bush at USC. But the reality is these players always should have got paid because they're doing work. How do you do work and not get paid? See, ADOS is all about reparations and the black agenda. This is nothing more than that. Effectively, these players risk their bodies and then are told, I'm paying you with a scholarship. Well, I don't want to be paid with a scholarship. I want to be paid with money commensurate with my actual labor. That's the way this works. So you don't get to tell me that you're going to pay me how you pay me, because you're giving me the extras. Understand what I mean? The reason why I call it the extras is because for those people that have been to UCLA, I don't know if you understand how limited a choice you have in degrees when you're playing football 6 hours, 7 hours a day, practicing and all of this, learning plays. I don't know if people understand all these schools aren't on par. You got UCLA up here, and then you got other schools down here. All them Florida schools, go down there and check out how the level of education. So they got people majoring in refrigeration while they telling us that they paying them with a degree in refrigeration. So I'm talking to you today because I first, again, commend Gavin Newsome in California for taking the lead. Shout out to my state. But also for LeBron stepping in and stepping out to give this a platform, because these athletes deserve to get paid and made whole, because they are making millions for these institutions. I believe by some accounts, they looked at University of Texas, each player was worth $3 to $4 million for the school. I think that they looked at the University of Louisville that will be at, and each player was worth like $8 million, something crazy, $7 million. Don't quote me on that, but millions for the school. These are actual articles that were written. Now, if we look on the other side, I want to share something with you to give you some context. So they're essentially not paying the players, but they are paying somebody. They are paying somebody, and that somebody is the coach and his assistant. We just gonna look at a few of the 25 highest paid college coaches as of 2018. Mike Krzyzewski of Duke makes $8.9 million a year. Nick Saban of Alabama makes $8.3 million a year. Again, this is amateur. Urban Meyer of Ohio State was making $7.6 million a year. See, they negotiate these salaries, but this is amateur though, right? Jim Harbaugh of Michigan makes $7.5 million a year. Jimbo Fisher, I believe of Texas A&M. I think that's where he's at, $7.5 million a year. John Calipari of Kentucky basketball, he makes $7.1 million a year. Notice the trend? Well, one trend is these are all white men. The next trend is that they are all making millions of dollars while the kids have to struggle and not be able to feed their families. Gavin Newsom in California have said no more. They have said there is a right to negotiate. They are saying that you cannot break black bodies. Essentially, what we need to understand is everybody has to be held accountable. When I look, there's another article, there's another image I might cut into the final version. You look at a chart done, an infographic done by, I believe, Deadspin, and it shows the highest paid public official for each state. So the states pay people, and the highest paid public official in each state. Let's talk about it. In California, the highest paid public official is a basketball college coach. In Nevada, the highest paid public official is a mate. It's either a football coach or a basketball coach. The highest paid public official in Louisiana is a football coach. I'm sorry, the highest paid public official in Texas is a football coach. The highest paid public official in Louisiana is a football coach. The highest paid public official in Georgia is a football coach. The highest paid public official in most of these places is a football coach. Highest paid public official in Michigan is a football coach. For too long, athletes have been undercompensated, not treated fairly, and essentially cut off from having wealth. No more. And I think California is setting up for a major discussion, a major dialogue about the fact that black athletes deserve compensation if they use their black bodies to make real money. I think one of the things that has to happen in this dialogue is understanding, again, white America has 90% of the wealth. We have 2.6, and we got to push forward and demand that if we're going to have 2.6, we ain't going to be able to survive. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please share this video. Thank you so much. I'm out.